With Liverpool and Real Madrid set to renew rivalries in the final of this year's Champions League, there's been a lot of talk about which team has the upper hand heading into the encounter, which happens on May the 28th. Obviously, everyone has their own predictions, but one former player has made a statement which a lot of people might not appreciate and might even consider scandalous. As a player, Patrick Vieira was not the sort of midfielder you'd want to mess with, and even though his playing days are long behind him, the former France international is still a formidable foe, as an Everton fan found out at his own expense. After 5 years of loyal service, Angel Di Maria is going to leave PSG, even though his departure might not make as much noise as you would expect. That is largely because everything relating to PSG these days is dominated by Kylian Mbappe, whose unwillingness to make any official statement had been driving Real Madrid mental. The longer this went on, the more confident PSG became of a turnaround, even though they need to look at the case with guarded hope. And guess what? Mbappe has signed a new contract with PSG, which has caused the sort of stir that promises to turn into a Category 5 storm. Alright people, you know we absolutely love having you around, and you know why we're good value for the time you spend on YouTube. So why don't you go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit the bell icon, since that does magical things. It is official. Everton will not be playing Championship football next season, a reality they had been fighting for the entirety of the campaign. Frank Lampard managed to engineer his version of the Great Escape as the Toffees ran out 3-2 winners over Crystal Palace at Goodison Park, thanks to an 85th minute goal from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The encounter in itself was as exhilarating as you'd expect. The Merseysiders were trailing 2-0, but a second half turnaround meant that they avoided going down the deep end. Naturally, Palace manager Patrick Vieira was not too happy with the manner in which his players had surrendered such a solid advantage. At the final whistle, Everton fans invaded the pitch to celebrate something that was not a guarantee a few weeks back, and that's exactly when everything changed. As he made his way to the tunnel, heading to the locker room, the former midfielder was approached by an Everton fan. Allegedly, the fan insulted Vieira and even gave him the middle finger while filming the entire scene. As a player, Vieira did not back down to anyone, and it was the same case here. The Frenchman eventually kicked out at the player and sent him bundling to the ground, as shown by Sky Sports footage. Embarrassed, the fan tried to get back at the Palace manager, but was held back by other supporters. Asked about the event at the post-match press conference, Vieira said that he has nothing to say about it, but we're pretty sure that it's not over. It isn't just the Kylian Mbappe situation that's made things difficult for PSG. While a lot of attention has been focused on the World Cup winner, the future of one of his teammates is also critical to understand. This is the case with Angel Di Maria, who becomes a free agent on June 30th, even though the club have an option to add another year to it if both parties have any willingness to do so. Unfortunately for the Argentinian, who was very interested in the idea of continuing the adventure for one more season, PSG are not prepared to activate this option, as had been anticipated for a few weeks. According to L'Equipe, the experienced winger will indeed play his last match in the red and blue colours during the reception of FC Metz this Saturday at the Parc des Princes. Until the end, Di Maria believed in signing the extension, especially since PSG hesitated for a long time before making this decision. But a forgettable campaign that's seen him score 4 goals and provide 8 assists in 30 matches in all competitions, his worst since his arrival in 2015 from Manchester United, convinced the management that it was necessary to move on, especially since he was also used less and less, with 21 starts in total. Now reports are linking him with a move to Juventus. It is therefore a page that will turn for PSG. Arriving against €63 million from Man United, the Albiceleste international is always going to be part of the history of the capital club. He's even the most creative player in history with them, with 118 assists in 294 games and scored 92 goals. D-Day has come and gone for PSG. The recently crowned Ligue 1 champions have been desperate to hold on to the services of their star performer, Kylian Mbappe, and they can afford to pay him the sort of money that will make him the best paid player in the game's history. The youngster had options and has a vision of the future, and he's acted upon his interests and has decided to extend his sojourn at Parc des Princes. And there had been contrasting rumours in both France and Spain. Those in France believed that Mbappe would eventually decide to extend his deal with the Ligue 1 giants. However, the Iberian media was still confident that Madrid would get their man. But today, things have changed, especially after Mbappe rejected Madrid's advances to sign a very lucrative deal. Basically, all the confidence that the Madrid giants and Marca had has evaporated. The Iberian publication even added that, behind the scenes, the club had taken his yes for granted and thought that he would sign his contract after the Champions League final on May 28th. But as long as nothing is signed, PSG had every reason to believe. And that's what worried Marca, which specified that the ambiguous messages sent by the player, and especially his recent meeting with the Parisian management, was not understood by the Madrid leaders. The latter feared PSG, who beat them to his signature in 2017, and feared that they might do the same again. For its part, El Chiringuito indicates that Real Madrid were already pessimistic about the arrival of KM7. If Kylian Mbappe doesn't sign for Real Madrid, there would be nothing worse. It would be very serious if he did not hear the call of Real Madrid, said a journalist on set, recalling, however, that he had not said no to the newly crowned Spanish champions. Tomas Roncero, journalist for AS, said if he doesn't come, he will always be poor because he will see how Real Madrid continue to win Champions Leagues. Well, that's been a tricky affair for both parties. And now Mbappe has signed a new deal which will see him stay at Parc des Princes for 3 more years. Real Madrid have definitely been irked by the entire turn of events, but no one is more annoyed than La Liga president Javier Tebas. This is no longer a developing story. Well, we'll be covering this in a lot more detail in one of our upcoming videos. Now, we're sure that all of you are pretty eager to watch Real Madrid take on Liverpool in the final of the Champions League on May 28th. That game's going to be a memorable affair for sure. For the Reds, it will be a shot at redemption after the events in the 2018 final, which we already discussed in great detail in one of our previous videos. You can watch the video here. Today, everyone is talking about how good Liverpool are and why Jurgen Klopp's men head into this clash as favourites. A lot of people are simply ignoring how Madrid got to the final. And for Peja Mijatovic, the former Real Madrid striker, Liverpool are not a better team than the Spaniards. Madrid haven't had an easy path to the final. They've had to overcome adversity in all shapes and sizes, and the semi-final against Manchester City was one example of why this is a dangerous team to play against. And Mijatovic, who scored the winning goal of the 1998 Champions League final against Juventus, says that no one has ever achieved what Real Madrid have in Europe. I don't remember a game like the one against Manchester City. The energy of the people and the players was incredible. I hadn't seen anything like it at the Bernabeu. What team in Europe has 8 players with 4 Champions League titles? It's very difficult to achieve what Real Madrid has. I don't think Liverpool has a better team. No one has one as complete as Real Madrid. Indeed, we must say that Carlo Ancelotti's side have defied expectations in the Champions League this time around. No one is really giving them the credit they deserve. But then again, all these notions will be sealed in a box and thrown into the sea when the two teams enter the field. And at the end of the game, we'll find out which one was the better of the two on the night.